Hey Wealth Explorers! In the world of investment, S&P 500 index funds stand as pillars of stability and growth. Today, we're on a quest to unveil the best S&P 500 index fund options available, designed to help you pursue your financial goals with confidence. This video will provide you with insights into the top S&P 500 index funds for your investment journey. Join us as we navigate the world of index fund investing. Understanding S&P 500 index funds. In order to choose the best S&P 500 index fund, it's essential to understand what they are. S&P 500 index funds track the performance of the Standard & Poor's 500, a stock market index that represents the 500 largest companies in the United States. These index funds offer a simple, low-cost way to invest in a diverse range of large-cap U.S. stocks, making them an attractive option for both beginners and experienced investors. Key factors to consider. When searching for the best S&P 500 index fund, there are several key factors to consider. Expense ratio. Look for funds with low expense ratios to maximize your returns. Lower expenses mean more of your money is working for you. Historical performance. Examine the fund's historical performance. While past performance doesn't guarantee future results, it can provide valuable insights. Dividend yield. Some S&P 500 index funds provide dividends. If you're looking for income, consider funds with a competitive dividend yield. Fund size. Larger funds tend to have more liquidity, making it easier to buy and sell shares. However, smaller funds may offer more growth potential. Tracking error. A low tracking error indicates that the fund closely mirrors the S&P 500's performance. Provider reputation. Consider the reputation of the fund provider. Established providers often have a track record of reliability. Minimum investment. Some funds have minimum investment requirements. Ensure it aligns with your budget. Top S&P 500 index funds. Now, let's delve into some of the top S&P 500 index funds to consider. Vanguard 500 Index Fund, VFIAX. Known for its low expense ratio and strong performance, this fund is a favorite among long-term investors. iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, IVV, a popular choice for its low fees and efficient tracking of the index. SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, SPY, one of the oldest and most widely traded S&P 500 ETFs. Fidelity 500 Index Fund, FXAIX, offers a combination of strong performance and a low expense ratio. Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund, SWPPX, known for its low expenses and no minimum investment requirement. The decision-making process. As you consider the best S&P 500 index fund for your portfolio, remember that your investment goals, risk tolerance, and preferences will play a significant role in your decision-making process. Take the time to research each fund, assess your own financial situation, and consult with a financial advisor if necessary. Common questions related to investing in S&P 500 index funds. What is an S&P 500 index fund? An S&P 500 index fund is a type of mutual fund or exchange-traded fund, ETF, that tracks the S&P 500 index. The S&P 500 index is a stock market index that tracks the performance of 500 of the largest publicly traded U.S. companies. What are the benefits of investing in an S&P 500 index fund? There are several benefits to investing in an S&P 500 index fund, including diversification. S&P 500 index funds invest in a wide range of companies, which helps to reduce risk. Low cost. S&P 500 index funds typically have very low expense ratios, which means that investors keep more of their investment returns. Convenience. S&P 500 index funds are easy to buy and sell, and they can be traded through most brokerage accounts. Which S&P 500 index fund is the best? The best S&P 500 index fund for you will depend on your individual needs and preferences, such as your investment goals, time horizon, and risk tolerance. However, some of the factors to consider when choosing an S&P 500 index fund include expense ratio. The expense ratio is a percentage of your investment that is charged annually to cover the fund's operating costs. Lower expense ratios are generally better. Tracking error. The tracking error of an index fund measures how closely it follows the performance of the underlying index. A lower tracking error is generally better. Tax efficiency. Some index funds are more tax efficient than others. This means that they generate fewer taxable capital gains distributions. Fund size. Larger funds tend to be more stable and have more liquidity, while smaller funds may be more volatile. Minimum investment. Some index funds have minimum investment requirements, while others do not. You may also want to consider your brokerage firm when choosing an S&P 500 index fund. Some brokerage firms offer commission-free trading on certain index funds, which can save you money on transaction costs. How much should I invest in an S&P 500 index fund? The amount you should invest in an S&P 500 index fund will depend on your individual financial situation and investment goals. However, a good rule of thumb is to invest at least 10% of your income each year. You may also want to consider investing a lump sum, such as a bonus or inheritance. How long should I invest in an S&P 500 index fund? S&P 500 index funds are a good investment for both short-term and long-term investors. If you are saving for a short-term goal, such as a down payment on a house, you may want to invest in a less risky investment, such as a certificate of deposit, CD. However, if you are saving for a long-term goal, such as retirement, you can afford to take on more risk by investing in an S&P 500 index fund. Conclusion. So, which is the best S&P 500 index fund? The answer ultimately depends on your unique financial objectives and circumstances. Each of these funds has its own advantages, and the best fund for you will align with your investment goals. Remember, the key to successful investing is consistency and patience. Regardless of which fund you choose, S&P 500 index funds are a reliable way to participate in the growth of the US economy over the long term. Thank you for joining us on this journey to discover the best S&P 500 index funds. If you found this information helpful, please consider sharing it with others who might benefit from it. Keep exploring, keep learning, and stay tuned for more insightful content on personal finance and investment strategies. Happy investing, Wealth Explorers!